Hey guys, welcome to This Explainer. So today we are diving headfirst into one of the wildest, most fiercely debated, and frankly, absolutely terrifying paranormal cases in American history. It completely split the nation in half back in the 80s, and honestly, people are still fighting about it today. So, whether you're a hardcore skeptic or a total believer, this story is definitely going to mess with your head a little bit.
Let's just picture this for a second. You just moved into a new place, right? You're in bed, dead of night, and suddenly, bang, a massive, heavy knock. But it's not the front door. It is literally coming from inside the wall, right next to your head. Now, imagine that's just a normal Tuesday. Pretty soon, your furniture is sliding across the room, and shadow figures are just chilling in your doorways. Who do you even call? Because that is exactly what the Smurl family claimed they were dealing with.
So, to really get how this all started, we have to travel back to 1985, to the super quiet, sleepy town of West Pittston, Pennsylvania. Meet Jack and Janet Smurl. They were a totally average couple, just trying to raise their kids and live a normal life in a standard duplex. But according to them, they absolutely were not alone in that house. And what started out as this really creepy private family mystery was about to blow up into a massive national obsession.
Section 1. The Smurl Family Mystery. The First Signs.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Things didn't just go completely crazy overnight. It was totally a slow burn. Step 1 was just soft knocking in the walls and flickering lights, like super easy to write off as just a quirky old house, right? But then we hit step 2, random, freezing cold spots popping up in very specific rooms. And then step 3. The family claimed they started seeing these dark, human-shaped shadow figures just standing totally silently in the corners of their hallways. And the wildest part about this, if you tried to walk up to them, they just vanish right into thin air. Insane, right?
Section 2. Escalating terrors in the home.
So this is where things seriously escalate, from just spooky to genuinely dangerous. The family claimed their furniture was moving completely on its own. They would hear these massive crashing sounds in empty rooms, run in totally panicked, and literally nothing would be out of place. Plus, random awful smells would just appear out of nowhere and then vanish. But the absolute scariest part for sure, the physical contact. The Smurls alleged they were being shoved, scratched, and grabbed by something totally invisible. I mean, just imagine trying to get a good night's sleep through all of that. No thanks.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, maybe it's just a shared family delusion, like they were all just feeding off each other's fear. But this beautifully illustrates the exact turning point of the whole case. We heard unusual noises coming from the property. Yep, that's from the neighbors. The nightmare was literally spilling out of the house at this point. It wasn't just a private family secret anymore. The neighborhood was getting involved, and the entire vibe shifted dramatically.
Section 3. National Media Frenzy.
Once the neighbors started chiming in, the property turned into an absolute circus. Newspapers were plastering the story everywhere across the country. TV crews were rushing in, desperate for exclusive interviews with Jack and Janet. And suddenly, the house was just swarming with ghost hunters, skeptics, and paranormal investigators, all trying to be the hero who solved it. By 1985, this had sparked a massive national debate. People were literally arguing at dinner tables over whether the Smurls were tragic victims of some dark entity or if they were just pulling off the hoax of the decade.
Section 4. Believers versus skeptics.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how perfectly it captures the two completely opposite ways our brains try to handle the unknown. It's so fascinating. On one side, you have the believers, and their argument is totally solid. You have multiple witnesses, neighbors and investigators included, and their stories stayed super detailed and consistent over a long period of time. Conclusion? Genuine supernatural entity. But then the skeptics hit back with a really grounded, logical counterargument: stress and the incredible power of suggestion. When you are terrified and utterly exhausted, expanding pipes in a settling old house sound exactly like demonic knocking, and tricky lighting looks exactly like shadow people. It's just a massive showdown between human psychology and the paranormal. But here is the ultimate sticking point for the skeptics. Despite the total media circus, the cameras, the expensive audio gear, and investigators literally having sleepovers in the house, absolutely no definitive physical evidence was ever discovered. No undeniable crisp photo of a shadow figure. No clear, unexplainable audio of a ghost. And without that concrete, hard proof, skeptics firmly argue that the case just completely falls apart.
Section 5. An enduring unsolved mystery.
So I am throwing this one right over to you guys. What really happened inside the Smurl house? Were Jack and Janet genuinely being tortured by something we just don't fully understand yet? Or was it extreme stress and a creaky old duplex playing absolute tricks on their minds? The walls of that Pennsylvania duplex aren't talking, so the jury is honestly still out on this one. Weigh those wild, terrifying claims against the total lack of physical evidence, and let me know your verdict down in the comments. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and remember, keep questioning everything. See ya!